world can be so cruel. We have our hands tied, they treat us like we're fools. We're underestimated and boxed in. All judgmental labels spread us thin. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, you'll be my safety. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. Oh, we can take this world by storm. I couldn't want anything more. Just hear me whisper that your dreams lie here with me. And let the stars above serve as your remedy. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, you'll be my safety. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to welcome you all to Silk Masquerades. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We're so happy to see you. Welcome. Make sure you let us know in the chat where you are checking in from. Hola. All right. So we have a lot of information to share with you this afternoon, and we want to go ahead and get started. But first of all, we are going to take a look at one of our raffle questions. We had a raffle question that was pending from last week. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to let you know who the winner is. So if you'll take a look at your screen, and for those of you that are checking us out on the replay, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're from, where you're checking in from. Say hello. We want to be able to connect with you. And so when you see the question, check out Silk Masquerades. We have Instagram as well as Facebook. Find our Silk Masquerades page. We will have a raffle drawing every week for a free gift. So make sure you check it out, like, subscribe, share with someone else, okay? All right. So a couple weeks ago, we had my daughter and we had mother-daughter chatter. And so we had a question that was on the table. And that question in episode number 5, who did Madison say gave her the best advice she's ever received? And what was that advice? Okay. So we had a couple responses, but we only had one person who actually got it correct. And so that person who answered is Roger Law. All right. Thank you, Roger, for participating. And we will have your gift sent to you as soon as we get our shipment, and we will take care of that. So, the question that is currently out for last week we had the pleasure of talking with Jason Bolgen. We spoke with Jason Bolgen, and he talked to us about living on purpose. Okay. And so the question that we have out right now is, let me make sure I get it correct. I don't want to say it the wrong way. So in episode number 6, Jason Bolgen talked about 2 ways that people most often connect with others and grow. What are those 2 ways? That is in episode number 5. So you want to make sure that you go to episode number 5 if you weren't with us and see the answer to that question. Okay? All right. So we're going to introduce our guests this afternoon. We have joining us Shelly Spain. Shelly Spain, I call her Principal Spain, you guys, because she was my principal at my last school. So I'm so happy to have her join us this afternoon. And we're going to talk about some interior decorating, uh, redecorating rooms and homes, and how you go about doing that, because a lot of times we don't know where to begin. Okay? So Shelly Spain is going to share some of that information with us this afternoon, and we are looking forward to the conversation with Shelly Spain. All right. So now we are going to make sure you guys go to the YouTube page if you haven't already. Like the video, share, subscribe. Okay? Make sure you do that. And we're going to have Shelly Spain come up, and she's going to give us some tips on home decor, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, okay? So everyone, if you would, please welcome Shelly Spain to Silk Masquerades.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, Valerie Singleton. I miss your
Hello,
face.
Shelly Spain. I miss you too. I miss you too.
You miss my silliness.
Well, I miss all of it, really.
I do too. I do too.
So it is all good. All right. So make sure you guys that you comment. Ooh, I see some people. We see some people we know.
I see some people we know. Hi, Miss Christian.
Yes, Miss Christian is checking in. Hello, Beverly Christian. And wow, we
That's
have
my sister.
Katrina.
That's
Katrina
my
is checking in
sister.
from North Carolina. Hi. All right. Thank you for checking in. Oh, we have, oh, Miss Henderson Gathers.
We know her.
We
Hi.
know her. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Silk Masquerades. She's waving. And Miss Christian saying hello. Thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure you leave us a comment. You can post your questions. You can make comments, and we'll be sure to get them on the screen. Thank you all for joining us. So, Shelly Spain, tell me, who is Shelly Renee Walker Spain? Tell me about your childhood, your education, your family.
Well, I was born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia, and I went through all of my elementary, high school, middle school, high school, and Norfolk Public Schools, proud product of Norfolk Public Schools, and I loved living in Norfolk. And I was raised by a single parent, Joan Kaysen. She was Joan Walker before that, but I was raised by a single parent, and she remarried my stepfather when I was 17, and we moved to Virginia Beach. And so William Kaysen was very instrumental in my upbringing. I have one sister. Her name is Katrina, and she lives in North Carolina. She's retired military, and she's a government contractor, and she's one of my cheerleaders. I
Yeah.
attended Norfolk Public Schools. I'm looking at my notes so I won't forget anything. I got my bachelor's degree in early childhood education from NSU. So behold the green and gold. Um, I got my master's degree from Regent University, and my master's degree is in educational leadership and supervision, pre-K through 12. So that's a little bit about my childhood and my education. Who am I as a mother? I am the mom of three. I have three amazing children. Jannard is the oldest. Jannard is 30 years old, and he is a CDL truck driver. My son, Jacoby Smith, is currently in the master's degree program at Old Dominion University for education. And my daughter, Chanel, is finishing up 4 years at ODU, and she's a nurse care partner at Chesapeake Regional. And she was accepted into Norfolk State University's nursing program. So those are my kids. But I also have a bonus daughter, Danielle, bonus daughter Danielle, and she's my future daughter-in-law. And so those are my kids. I am so elated to be a first-time glam mom to Jamia. I don't know if you have the presentation on, but I plugged a little picture in of Jamia. She's 1 month old, and y'all, she is the joy and hope of the family. I am married to Emmanuel Spain, the love of my life for probably 30 years. We've been in love, and he's a merchant marine, so he's on the water often, and he's also a chef, y'all. He's also a chef. I have one nephew, Jamil, and one great niece, Princess. And most people don't know, Valerie, that I was a teen mom. I had Jannard at 17 years old. And so we kind of like grew up together. I'm 48. Jannard is going to be 31 this year. So I was a teen mom, but that experience also gave me drive,
Yeah,
because
I was just about to ask you, what
Mhm.
exactly was that like for you to be a teen mom and also still wanting to continue to succeed and to better yourself?
Well, my goal of becoming an educator was a goal that I set at 5 years old, and I never wavered from that goal. Um, Academics came easy for me, so I was always an honor roll student in school, and so the academic piece wasn't something that I struggled with. But being a 17-year-old mom, your senior year in high school, there were lots of things that I didn't get to do that my classmates were doing, like going on senior trips and hanging out here and there. My mom was really good at taking care of my son when I wanted to go some places, but of course, I have to be a mom, and I had to stay closer to home to help raise my son. So it was a different kind of life. It was you were thrust into growing up a little faster. But I did know that despite the fact that I had Jannard at 17, I knew what I was going to be, and nothing was going to get in the way of that. Yeah, I had naysayers saying, "Oh, she's not going to move beyond graduating." I had people who weren't speaking life over me. That also propelled me to move forward to create a better life for Jannard. And I was on welfare. I got food stamps. I got tuition assistance, but all of that I used to my benefit. And when I didn't need those things anymore, I moved out of the way so the next person who needed those things could use them. But it's proof that you don't have to be complacent with where you are. You can always set goals to get to wherever you need to be. And Jannard was one of my driving goals, to get to where I needed to be so he could live comfortably. So that was my drive.
Okay. Wow. That is amazing because oftentimes when young ladies find themselves having a baby in high school, it becomes one of those things that seems like it's insurmountable.
Yeah, and it can be very it could take your confidence, like, you know, it'll give you that false perception that I have to put everything on hold. I can't do any of this. And it's quite the opposite. Like, your drive doesn't have to leave because your circumstances changed. And mine was a drastic change. I remember catching the school bus to Granby High School, getting off that school bus and getting on another bus that took me to the Coronado School, that was a school for pregnant teens. But that did not let that stop me. I still maintained my GPA. I still graduated with my class. Having a baby does not mean that you can't pursue your future goals. I'm
That is
proof of
that is awesome. That
yeah, I'm
that is
proof of
awesome.
that. And so
Okay. So you decided you were going to pursue your goals. And that led you where?
to teaching.
Mhm.
So I went to Norfolk State for my undergrad, and I had an opportunity to do my student teaching in Norfolk Public Schools, and that's really where I saw myself forever, in Norfolk Public Schools. Um, so I started at J. Cox Elementary School, and I was a kindergarten teacher. I was a third grade teacher, and I was a first grade teacher. And one unique thing experience that I had when I was in the classroom was I got to take my all girl kindergarten classroom to first grade. So I looped up with them. But in October of that year, I was pulled out of the classroom to assume a leadership role as a literacy teacher. Now, I went out kicking and screaming, but it was the best thing that could have happened to me. I mean, I could not pass my girls in the hallway without crying. But it was at that point that my principals started to see the leadership quality, and they also saw my passion for literacy instruction, and they pulled me to work with third, fourth, and fifth grade students who needed some of the gaps closed with reading. And so I didn't see that when they pulled me, but being in the midst of that, it helped me to see that my gift needed to have a bigger impact, and that was beyond classroom walls. So I am appreciative that I had an opportunity to do that. And from that, I went to instructional specialist. And that was sort of like the coaches you remember, Valerie, at like,
Yes.
you know, I was sort of like that, but on all grade levels, like not all grade levels, all subjects. So I was a K2 instructional specialist where I was given professional learning opportunities to K2 teachers, doing walkthroughs, ordering Title I materials to help the students and things like that. So I enjoyed that experience. So that's where my educational career in terms of being an instructor came into place. I had administrators, and I'll name them because they were instrumental in me moving to the next step of
Absolutely.
administrator. Dr. Doretha White was my assistant principal at JCOS, and she kept saying, Shelly, you should consider going back to school to get your master's degree. And I was like, I totally don't see that for me. I'm going to retire in the classroom. Dr. Kimberly Gray was my principal, and she said the same thing, gave me lots of opportunities. And I think the most inspirational or impactful leader I've ever worked for was Dr. Sterling White. Sterling asked me to leave Jaycox when he became principal and to go over to Chesterfield Academy with him, and I did so. And he gave me so many leadership opportunities, and he modeled what an effective leader look like, sound like, feel like. So I owe a lot of my leadership training to Dr. Sterling White. It was amazing to work for him. It was so amazing to work for him, Valerie. 4 years after I got my degree, he had to say, you need to apply for a job as a principal. And assistant principal. And I was like, but I'm not ready. He was like, no, you need to go. So he pushed me forward to do that. And I'm grateful for that. And I'll always be appreciative of Dr. White. He's now executive director in Virginia Beach Public Schools. So
Okay. I was going to ask you, how did being in the classroom, a kindergarten, first grade teacher, and then a literacy coach lead you to becoming a principal.
Yeah,
So now I see that all of those individuals were placed in your life
for a
to,
reason.
yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
so now you are serving in the public school administration where?
Yeah, I'm at Bassett Elementary School in Hampton, Virginia. I have an amazing staff. So if any of them are up here, Miss Christian, I saw Miss Christian. I love my staff. My staff, they're my family. They know they're my family. They know I love them. So I enjoy every day working at Bassett. I have an amazing assistant principal, Dr. Rohan Cumberbatch Smith. I have an awesome secretary, Miss Scott. I have about 450 kids in the school with us, and I have an amazing, I said teachers, but I also have an amazing support staff and instructional team. So I'm loving being at Bassett. This is my third year at Bassett, and each year gets better and better. So I'm loving
All
that.
right. All right. So, in addition to being an elementary school principal, there's something else that you also do.
Yeah.
You're a professor?
Yes. I am a professor for the School of Education for Grand Canyon University. And so I have the privilege of training students to be teachers right before they enter into the workforce. So I teach the student teaching courses, I teach literacy courses, and it was easy to work in that capacity because I've been in education for, I want to say this is year 26 for me. Um,
Okay.
and so it was easy to transition into that position. I've been doing that for 11 years. And I did that because I wanted to pay for college for my kids. So I wanted to be there to support them. And so that is something that I enjoy doing. And I also had the privilege of hiring one of my third grade teachers that was in one of my courses at Grand Canyon University because I believed in the drive that she had, and she was a perfect fit for Bassett.
Okay. All right.
So that's my education, but
That is your
third job.
exactly. But
Well,
now
it
there's
told you,
something that I'm sorry, go ahead.
the drive, the circumstance does not have to be a determining factor. The drive has to lead you to where you need to be.
Okay, and that is exactly you're a prime example of having that drive.
Well, my
Now,
mom modeled that too. My mom modeled that.
yes, yes, that also is a benefit. So now home decor.
Home decor.
Where and when did that come into play? And how did you find out or how did you determine that it was a passion for you or that you even had an interest in it?
Well, we lived in low income housing, right? So that was not an excuse for my mom not to decorate her house like the Taj Mahal. Okay, so we had the plastic on the furniture, and we had the oil lamps that had the little beads of oil that streamed down. Do you remember what I'm talking about? You
Yes,
know,
I
so
do.
we had the beautiful finger hut curtains. Hi, Miss Lewis. We had the beautiful finger hut curtains, and so I was around decor all the time. Not only that, my mom dressed glamorously, so I was around it. And so it wasn't until I moved out that I found and got my first house that I realized I was decorating just like my mom. I was ordering out a finger hut, and so I enjoyed decorating. But when I became an administrator, it kind of like fell by the wayside. So it fell by the wayside, and I did not pick it back up until I had a principal decor started out of a very traumatic experience for me. I had I experienced trauma in the profession, and I remember going through this trauma and being in a deep, deep depression most of 2018. And out of that, and talking with my therapist, I had a therapist because I did suffer PTSD from this. And she said, Shelly, you have to pick a hobby, something you really enjoy doing, and you have to make time for it. So I was thinking, oh, okay, what is that going to be? I don't know. I don't have time for anything. I wasn't making time for anything. And then my awesome husband, Emmanuel, I hope you're up here, honey. My awesome husband, Emmanuel, surprised me with a home. He bought a home. I wasn't a part of it. I didn't find out about it until it was come sign here kind of thing. Come sign here kind of
And
thing.
pack your boxes. Pack your boxes.
Right. And yeah. And he was like, pack your boxes. The movers are gonna come. And I was like, well, wait a minute, we gotta find a house first. And he said, I did that. And it was where I wanted to be, y'all. Like, I can't, this is peace right here. This is peace. And that, with that house, the house came with me coming out of the depression and God restoring all that I lost. Felt I lost. So I was in a restoration phase, and God was moving and he was talking and I could hear him. And then he worked through family members. He worked through my pastor. He worked through friends like Ashonda and Janelle. Those are my BFF. They always were checking in on me, and that victory brought about this beautiful home. And I wanted to start a clean slate. So I didn't bring very much with me to this home. It was a clean slate to decorate. And so I started decorating, Valerie, and I started posting pictures online, and people were like, that is nice. That's really nice. And I was like, well, I wonder if I do a Facebook group where people will join. And I got a small gathering at first, but when the pandemic hit,
it is not small anymore.
When the pandemic hit, Valerie, it was like, okay, yeah, there's some other people out there that enjoy decorating like me. And so I started posting inspirational pictures for them and give them tips. And I also gave them a shot of my home. Like, my house is not off limits. I showed them what my home looked like. I looked at their beautiful pictures and I complimented them. And it really became a platform for building beautiful relationships. Like, I have some amazing friends on in my Facebook Principal Decor group that I can't wait to travel to see. Like, I can't wait to go to Florida to see Dee Dee. I can't wait to come down there. She knows we're going to shop till we drop. So that's how it kind of evolved, and God was just working through the whole situation. And so that's how Principal Decor became what it is today. I have about almost 6,000 people on the Facebook book group. But I want to say I have 11,000 Instagram followers. And it was that and my amazing assistant principal. He kept saying, Shelly, you need to pursue this. You need to pursue this. And I was like, yeah. And he was, Shelly, you need to do this. And he kept saying, did you do it yet? And so that kind of motivated me too. And so I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And so I started branching out and using my services to help other people who needed it. There are lots of people who know what they want, but don't know how to bring it together. That's where I come in. And so I don't have any formal training about it. I mean, in interior design, but I know what I like, and I know how to cater the styles to meet the needs of the clients. And so, this is another testimony that you don't have to have formal experience. If it's your gift, it's your gift. And God will make it easy for you. And interior design makes me smile. Like, if you saw, this is my home office. It's the only room that's gold and pink. But if you looked around this office, it's really like inventory now, because I have all of the things that I'm going to use to decorate a client's home. I'm doing her living room and her dining room, and then I'll move to her she-den. And so that's how it evolved.
So one of my questions is, what is your ideal client? Who is your ideal client? And what determines whether or not you're going to be able to provide a service for them? Because individuals started asking you to come and decorate their spaces for them.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it has to be a chemistry. Not all money is good money, so it has to be a chemistry. And I can determine that from having a consultation. So I can sit down, let me hear what your needs are and how I can help. And it also means not locking yourself into one type of design style or service that you can offer people. It may be that I I heard your concerns and your needs, and how about let me do this, and what do you think about that? I also give a questionnaire to my clients just to see what their style is, what are items they want to keep, what are some new things they want, what direction do they want to go in. Let's identify what your decor style is and go from there. My ideal client is the one that says, I don't know anything about decor, so I need you. I don't know anything about decor, and that is Miss Danielle, and working with her and her husband. And she's like, "Look, I don't know anything," and I was like, "That's okay, because I do."
And that's why you're there.
And that's why I'm here, you know. And so those are my ideal clients. As in terms of my style, I am a modern glam girl. You know, I love everything sparkly,
Yeah.
everything glittery, glitzy, crystal glam. I love all of that. I love metallics, but not all my clients like that. So I have to be very conscious in hearing them and being an active listener of what it is that they want, and so that I can provide that service to them. Every home doesn't have to look like my home. You have to be willing to research other design styles so that you can give clients what they need.
Okay. All right. So when you have a room that you're going to start decorating, what do you start with first? Do you start first with the walls, the windows? Do you start with a main piece of furniture, or do you start with the paint, the color? What do you start with first?
Your color scheme. And you in my Facebook group, they can probably attest to this a lot. Somebody will say, so what color should I put with this? And my response is always, what's your color scheme? Like you can't have a design without a color scheme. I don't know a color scheme. What's the first color that came to your mind that when I said that? A color scheme. It has to be something that you can live with. And so I start with what's the color scheme. Sometimes they don't know what their color scheme is, but they may have a beautiful painting that has colors in it that really speaks to their heart, and so I may pull their color scheme out of the colors of a rug or a painting or something like that that they already have that they really, really love. But it can come from anything. It can come from anything. It can just come from a conversation, or it can come from art. But that's where I start. And then from there, you do the questionnaire, and I analyze your questionnaire. And then I start to create what are called mood boards. I don't know, Valerie, if you have, can you access the presentation so I can show what a mood board looks like? Um, but a mood board, you guys, is something that I can create that takes your design style into consideration. And here you go. And I can pull together some things that represent what you may like. And so these are examples of mood boards. Design boards is another name for them, but this is where I start. And with the software I use for creating mood boards, I can send this to a client and say, check all of the ones that you like and reject the ones you don't. And then I can go from there to give them more options to pick from. I recognize that, you're not going to get it right in every single try, but I like giving clients options so that they can walk away happy campers, because happy campers give you referrals. So that's where I start mood boards. Can you?
So, have you ever had a client that did not like what you provided for them, the service you provided?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say they didn't like it. I say they weren't vibing with it. So I here's an example. I had a young lady who did the survey, and she said her decor style was rustic glam. And that's what I delivered, rustic glam. But once she saw the combination of things, she was like, you know, not quite what I had in mind, or, not vibing with it. And I went back to the drawing board. And when I went back to the drawing board and came back with another mood board, she was like, oh my God, I love this. And so,
Okay.
giving them an opportunity to revise, because I have to remember that I love design. they hired me for a reason, and sometimes I have to help them to discover what their style is, and that may take another try. But usually by the second try, it's a winner.
Okay. All right. All right. So now there are some items that you shared with us, and we are going to share with the audience. And so here is.
One of my favorite projects. Okay, so this is one of my friends who had heart surgery and she could not get out to decorate, and she wanted just a peaceful home that represented the colors that she loved. And so these were some of the things that I pulled together in her living room. Besides the sofa and the coffee table, everything I did, I went out and purchased for her. So for clients, I will go out and source items for them, if that is what they choose to go with. So that's one of the projects. Can you click to the okay, so this is her home too. This is her place of peace is what we called it. Okay, so on the left you'll see where she had the brown tones beforehand, and then on the right you'll see where I added drapes, lamps, pillows, throw, and wall art. The wall art that's there, you guys, is actually the same piece. I flipped one of them upside down.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I know the one on the left looks a little dark, but it's just as teal as the one that's on the right. I just flipped them upside down so that they would look like a contrast. Okay, you want to go to another one? Oh, this is my home. So these are the types of things that I share on Facebook and Instagram. I like to give ideas based on what I have going on in my home. I consider my home to be my biggest mood board, and so I like to share vignettes or table settings with some of my friends that are in the group. And so this is my dining room, and this is actually the master bedroom. The dresser where it's my husband's dresser. So we got to keep things off the top of that, Mr. Spain. This is our bedroom, and the flower is of a display I put in the living room at one time. But this is our bedroom. I painted the walls. I picked out everything that's in here. Hung everything that's in here. Just made it a peaceful place to be. So that's my bedroom.
It looks peaceful.
It is peaceful. It's very peaceful because on the other side of those windows, is the Montana Merrimack. What is that? The Nesbitt River flows right out into the Montana Merrimack, and so it's very peaceful over here where we live. So the home office, that's an arrangement actually that I have right here sitting beside me.
Okay.
You see it?
And these arrangements you create.
Yes, I create. Now, I will say that arrangements are the hardest for me to do. And I play with them so often to get that right look. But that right there was the money win for me. And I stopped right there.
Okay.
In my master bathroom, I currently have this set up. And you guys, I go all over the place looking for things that are inexpensive. These things that are here don't cost a lot. I got flowers from Amazon. I got the gray flowers from Hobby Lobby. I got that vase for $19 from Home Goods, and I got the tall candlestick from Marshalls for like $12. It doesn't have to cost a lot to create a great impact.
And so we're going to go to the next one.
That's my home office where I'm sitting at right now, you guys. That is how I decorate for Christmas. And so that's where I am now. My husband calls it the Nicki Minaj room. It's the only room that's gold and pink in the house. Everywhere else is silver and teal, except for the third floor. That is his Steeler man cave, and that's totally off limits to me. I can't decorate anything in there. I can't even buy a curtain or a trash can. But
wait, he won't let you decorate the man cave?
No, that's off limits. Let's go ahead and get that out the way now that he said he would decorate. and he did. I couldn't buy curtains. I couldn't buy a trash can. I bought nothing that is in that room, and that's okay because he did really, really good, y'all. He did really, really good. He was very creative. I know he learned some of that from me. Yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
did.
To the next
Here just talks about a little bit about my decor style, that modern glam, and here is how my living room is looking now that I have ushered in spring. One thing that I do, you guys, is I changed my curtains from for spring and summer to a lighter shade, and then in the fall and the winter I go with a deep teal blue curtain. So I do switch them out. The two vases that you see on my coffee table are actually vases from a company that I am partnered with. The name of that company is Diamond Veil. They send me beautiful goodies. I showcase them, show people how to use, how they can display them beautifully, and I do get a commission for sales that come through Diamond Veil. But this is just a really simple. Again, all of these things came from Amazon or Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods. Those are my circuits that I shop in all the time. So that's another example. Okay, so this is Danielle, the client that I'm working with in Newport News. This is her living room. This is her living room mood board, you guys. So she told me that she wanted shades of blue, and this is what spun out of shades of blue. I don't know if we can fit this in the picture, but I do want to show you one thing. We decided to change out that picture, you guys, to this picture here. Hopefully you can see this. I went with this beautiful picture here. Can y'all see that?
Yes, we can.
Can you see how beautiful that is?
Wow.
So I went with this large picture, you guys, that I got from Burlington for her. And it has all of the shades in it that she was looking for. And so that goes with if the client isn't vibing with it, let's change it. So I actually just bought that this weekend.
Okay, nice.
We did that one. We did that one. Okay, you keep going. Okay, click again. Okay, this is one of my e-designs. I do e-designs where I'm virtually decorating for someone who lives in another state. They complete the questionnaire, they pay the consultation fee, and once that is done, you guys, they receive this digital board that has things that I feel would look great in a space based on their design style that is shared on their questionnaire. And they get to accept or reject items. And whatever they reject, I'll go and find something else and share with them that until we get to a point where we can say, okay, we're done. And what's good about the e-design, you guys, is that you guys get to see all of the links. So once you approve the design, you can go and click the link and you can order it whenever you want to order it, and it can come straight to your home.
Oh.
It's good for people who are like on a budget and can't do the entire design, like the purchasing of everything at one time. You can order bits and pieces because you will always have that mood board that I created. You'll always have those links that I gave you, and the quantities of whatever pieces. Like if I say buy 6 floral stems, you'll have that where to shop for it, in your file to keep. And so the e-design is really good for those who are on a budget or, want to buy things in increments.
Okay.
This is another example of my home. That was this past Christmas, how I decorated my Christmas tree. And one thing that I do want to say about this is I took my Facebook and my Instagram friends through the process of me unboxing this tree. I received that tree from King of Christmas as a gift. And I took them from the unboxing of the tree to adding the ribbon, to adding the bows, to adding floral picks, to adding.
I remember that.
Yeah. And that was, I did it in increments as a Christmas series. And that was really helpful for some as they decorated. On the left, on the right, you guys will see an example of what my fireplace mantle looks like for Christmas to coincide with what my tree looks like for Christmas. You can go to the next slide.
I think that might be all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it may be. Okay. So that is that.
Wow. That actually is amazing. And it seems like a lot of work. So to somebody like me, it might seem daunting, but to you,
It's
it's
fun.
what you love.
It's fun. It's really fun to me. I get inspired. Sometimes I have to catch myself and saying, Shelly, you're not going to change your color palette because you bought this amazing because you bought this amazing setup for one of the clients. I have to say, no, you're not going to change your color palette. But it's really fun for me. And keep in mind, it is also a part of my therapy.
Mhm.
And so why not turn my therapy into another stream of income? Um,
Right.
so I already told you guys I'm approaching year 27, and eventually I'll be retiring, and one new will take over the reins as principal. But as I leave my principal job to retire, I will be spinning into full time principal decor, um,
Okay. That's
and I'll be able
very
to have a
exciting.
bigger impact. Yeah.
So what has business been like for you during the pandemic?
It's been really interesting and fun. What I noticed is that when you take time and you invest in your people and you hear them and you listen to them and you always strive to deliver a quality product, those people will, when you finish one room, they want you to go to the next. So it's
Okay.
funny that I'm still in some homes that I started in last April or May. I'm in another room now, and
Okay.
so in that too, you also building relationships and friendships that won't fade. But it's been a really, really fun process. I can tell you what has been most beneficial to me is that during the pandemic, when we're so socially isolated, having opportunity to do e-designs for people who have never even met was something that helped me to take my mind off the fact that my husband may have been at sea or I can't be at school with my staff because we are a family. We work hard at school and we play hard at school. And so took my mind off of missing them so much. And so it's really been a more of a blessing to me than probably to them. But I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay, so, often it has been said that your home is your sanctuary or it is your place of refuge. So, does it take a long time for some people to put that together or pull it together to have it where they actually want it? Or is it something that you can just get done like that?
Well, it's a process. It is a process. And because I like to deliver quality, I let them know up front. Like it's a process. I'm not gonna give you anything in your home that I wouldn't want to see in my home if that was my decor style. So it's a process. Um, but I do always say this: make your home a reflection of what makes you happy. Um, I like to share with people that your home should be a place that you never want to leave but enjoy coming back to. And I get that feeling when I come home and I walk up my stairs and I see that big wall of picture windows that overlooks the golf course. Like it gets me every time. Give yourself permission to color outside of the lines. Like if you want green and tangerine decor, that's what I'm gonna give you, green and tangerine decor. And if a friend doesn't like your green and tangerine decor, then they can go home to the decor style that they like and appreciate it. But color outside the lines. This is your space. You have to be happy with it. Be authentically you when you're decorating and do what makes you happy.
That is some good advice. I was just about to ask you, what would be your advice to someone who may be considering redecorating and they don't know where to start? But you just gave that. So, what parting words would you have for our audience in regards to being motivated to continue your education, further your education, or even being motivated to move into doing something that you love, something that you're passionate about, or maybe even deciding to redecorate?
Well, I will approach the in continuing the education. I've always told my children, I want you to have a career. I want you to have a career doing something you love. And I don't want you to just have a job. I want you to have a career doing something that you love. Also, remember, everybody has setbacks in life. You can either use that setback as a setup for a greater outcome, or you can wallow in it. But wallowing gets you nowhere. And don't let anyone else determine your destiny, and don't let anyone keep you from being great. I say a lot, just let me be great. I just want to be great. I say that a lot, joking to the teachers. And so if they see me, they'll say, what you doing? I'm just trying to be great. I just want to be great. You being great, And so don't get permission from anybody else to be great. Be great in your own mindset and approach life as being great. To those young people who are listening to me, just remember, you guys, if I can do it, I came from the projects. I didn't have everything I wanted, but I had everything that I needed. But if I can do it as a teen mom, then there is nothing stopping you but yourself. And so get out of your own way and pave your path to destiny. For anybody who is considering coming into the interior design profession, don't let fear set you back. Fear paralyzed me for a while. My assistant principal kept saying, Shelly, do it. Shelly, do it. And I was like, I'm scared. I'm scared. But I said, you know what? I'm fitting to jump into this. And that's exactly what I did. I jumped into this. Before we leave, I want to share some decorating tips.
Okay.
For you guys. Please don't feed your artwork to the ceiling. Okay. Artwork should be at eye level. So
I was about to say, what? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're hanging pictures, don't hang them high. Hang them here. You know what I mean? Hang them at eye level for your people to enjoy, except for if they're over a fireplace or over a bed. That's an exception. But please don't feed them the ceiling. You shouldn't have this much space between your picture and your sofa. Show us your wall color, meaning you don't have to cover all of the walls with something. We enjoy seeing your art, the color of your walls. So don't clutter all of your walls with too many things that we can't enjoy your paint. Remember that less is more. Don't make your accessories compete for attention. So you may have beautiful statement pieces. Don't put everything together that whoever your guests have to say, I don't know which one to look at. I don't know which one to look at. So don't make your pieces compete. Curtain length matters. No high water curtains. Oh no. No high water curtains here. Your curtains should kiss the floor, or they should pool on the floor, but no high waters. The first thing people recognize is high water curtains, and they say, oh, they look cheap. So no high water curtains. When you're hanging curtains, you guys go higher and wider. Make sure windows look big. Find your inspiration.
Wait, back up. Say that again.
When you're hanging your curtains, go higher than the window sill. So if this is the sill, go higher. And then instead of putting your the ends of your bracket right here, the edge of the the opening of the window, go out like 4 inches. So go higher, and go wider. And hopefully you guys can see this example. Do you see how high I went?
Yes.
Yes. So it makes the small room look larger. So I went higher and I went wider. Okay. Stick with neutral. You guys stick with the neutrals for furniture and for big ticket items, because the last thing you want to do is, if you want to change your color palette, you got to go get rid of this purple sofa. So get a gray sofa, accessorize it with purple pillows or any color that you like. And look for inspiration on social media, you guys. Last thing I want to say is, do not discount thrift stores and Facebook Marketplace. I found some amazing pieces there, you guys. Valerie, I don't know if you have that picture to share really quickly with the white chest that I got from Facebook. I painted it and it looked like $1 million. I got a beautiful vase at the thrift store, you guys, that everybody is like, I like that. Guess what I did? I just cleaned it and spray painted it. So look for beautiful home pieces in thrift stores or whatever and see the potential in it. Yeah, it may have been Pepto Bismol pink when I brought it home, but god daggone it, it's silver now, and I'm loving it. You know what I mean? And here's an example, y'all. You see this
Oh,
lamp?
I don't have the picture of the chef.
Okay, you see that gold lamp there?
Yes.
It was white. I sprayed it, and
Oh,
and I made it into what I needed to be, and it came from the thrift store. And I bought that lampshade from the at home store to fit my decor. So
nice.
so those are some tips that I can give to you guys. You can always hit me up on Instagram at Principal Decor. You can send me a private message if you're interested in a consultation. You can also send me a private message on Facebook, and then we can set up something to make your house glamorous for less.
All right. So listen, the comments have been coming in, and I'm not sure if you've been able to see it. Madison says she loves the decor behind you.
You do, Madison. Let me give you a closer look.
Yes, that's
Can you
beautiful.
see it? I got a big old diamond ring, a diamond there. So
Oh,
this
nice.
is my Nicki Minaj room.
Okay. Mrs. Henderson Gathers is saying that she is happy for you and thank you for sharing.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Madison. I'm glad you enjoyed the advice. And I'm
Okay,
grateful for Valerie for allowing me to be on this platform to share what I
absolutely.
love in all three of my jobs.
Absolutely. And we are, and there's Miss
No
Lewis.
high water curtains.
No
Oh,
high
yeah.
water curtains.
Yes. No high water curtains. I just don't know how to
Oh,
say that.
Madison's loving your office. She's
You
like,
do, Madison.
yes.
I'll have to give you a tour of the Nicki Minaj room.
Miss Lewis says that great tips. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome, Miss Lewis. I'll
And
see you
Miss
tomorrow.
Christian says she has enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, Miss Christian. I hope you're feeling great.
Yes,
Miss
yes.
you.
All right. Shelly Spain,
That's who I
Principal
am.
Decor. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this afternoon.
It
Can
was a
you sit
privilege.
tight for me?
Yeah. I
All
can.
right.
Have a great night.
All right, everybody. We want to thank Principal Spain. Yes, thank you for coming and sharing with us your gifts and your talents, sharing with us stories of your journey and how it has led you to where you are in your profession, as well as your passion for home decor. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All right, everybody. So next week, we have something interesting coming up for you. We want to introduce you to a family. We are going to learn about pediatric rare diseases. We're having Aubrey Midget. She is coming on and she's going to be sharing with us um, Jackson's story. And we're talking about Jackson Strong. That's Jackson you see there in the picture. And she's going to be sharing some information with us. A couple weeks ago, we had Rare Disease Day. And so she's going to be sharing information with us. So make sure that you check us out next week. You don't want to miss that. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go to the Silk Masquerades page, you can go to it on Instagram or you can go to it on Facebook. There is a raffle question that is pending. And it is in episode number 6. That's last week's episode with Jason Belgian. He talked about 2 ways that most people often connect with others and grow. What are they? What are those 2 ways that people often connect with each other? So make sure you give us your answers and you will be entered into our next raffle drawing. Thank you all so much for joining. If you're checking us out on the replay, make sure you leave us a comment and let us know that you were here. We want to be able to connect with you. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you'll always know when we go live and when we have something coming up. Okay? So you don't want to miss out on anything that we have coming, and we have lots of things in store for you. So make sure that you stay tuned and you keep in touch with us. That sound means that we've come to the end of another episode, you guys. It's been awesome hearing from Shelly Spain today. And so subscribe, like, share so that you don't miss out. And remember, if there's something missing in your smile, maybe it's time for you to bloom right where you're planted, and then come tell us about it, okay? Let's get into it. Peace and blessings, everybody. Bye.
There's something missing in your smile. Something missing.